Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn about IELTS Writing Task 2. In this lesson, we are going to focus on how to write an advantage, disadvantage type of essay. This advantage, disadvantage essay is going to be the outweigh type of essay. Do the disadvantages outweigh the advantages? Okay. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write the introduction. In the next lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write the main body paragraphs and the conclusion. Now, remember that when it comes to IELTS Writing Task 2, you should write 4 paragraphs. You should write the introduction, 2 main body paragraphs, and the conclusion. Remember, you have 40 minutes to write your essay, and your essay should be more than 250 words. If you want to get a band 8 or a band 9, you should be aiming for about 300 words. Now, the other thing that is very important to remember is that the writing task 2 for the general training students and the academic IELTS is exactly the same. It's written in the same way and it is scored exactly the same. The only difference is that sometimes the writing task 2 question for the general training student is a little bit easier. Now, the question we have in this lesson is for both general training students and academic students. Now, let us begin our lesson by looking at the question. But before we go any further, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. I promise you will not regret subscribing to this channel because I always try my best to upload videos that are going to be extremely helpful for your IELTS, whether it is listening or writing. So subscribe and turn that notification button on so that every single time I upload a video, you will get informed. Remember, I upload 2 videos every single day from Monday to Friday. Now, let us look at our question. The very first thing, once you have received your question, is to read it very carefully and ensure that you understand it. Our question is, it is often considered that change is more beneficial to people than trying to avoid it and have everything remain the same. Let us try and break down that question. It is often considered that change, so the key word here is change, is more beneficial to people than trying to avoid it. So the question is stating that, the statement means that now change is more beneficial than trying to avoid it. Okay, it is often considered. Some people think that change is more beneficial. So instead of trying to avoid change, we should just go along with it because according to this statement, it is more beneficial. It is more beneficial if you just try to embrace change than try to avoid it and have everything remain the same. Okay? So according to this statement, it is better to accept change, okay? Because when you do, it is more beneficial. it is better to accept change than try to avoid it, because it is more beneficial than avoiding it. Okay? So change is more beneficial to people than trying to avoid it and have everything remain the same. So when you decide that you want things to remain the same, then it's not going to be beneficial to you according to this statement. So now that we understand the statement, let's move on to IELTS question, and that is, do you think the advantages of change outweigh the disadvantages? Remember, ultimately, this is an opinion essay. Although it is an disadvantage essay, ultimately it is an opinion essay. Do you think the advantages of change outweigh the disadvantages? So, do you think that the advantages or the benefits that we get from change exceed or are more important than the disadvantages? Do you think the advantages of change are more important than the disadvantages? That is what this question is essentially asking you. Do you think the advantages of change are more important than the disadvantages? Okay? Now, when it comes to the introduction, once you have understood the question, you need to write the introduction. And in the introduction, the examiner is marking two things: the background statement and the thesis statement. So the examiner is going to give you marks for the background statement and for the thesis statement. So it is extremely important that you write a good introduction. Now, how do you write the background statement? It is the easiest part of your test because all you have to do is rewrite the statement that IELTS has provided you with in your own words. That is what we call paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means write it in your own words. Rewrite the statement in your own words. But ensure that you retain the original meaning. In other words, do not change the meaning of the statement. You are allowed to change the words, but not the meaning. So the idea is, ensure that you try and find a synonym for the words that are in the statement. You are allowed to retain some words that are key, to the question, but you are not allowed to copy IELTS statement and write it as if it's your own in the background statement. Do not do that because IELTS will not accept it. It's not your statement. That statement belongs to IELTS. So what IELTS wants you to do with that statement is rewrite it. Rewrite it in your own words, but ensure that the meaning is the same. And how do you do that? Let's do it together. Okay, so the statement begins with, it is often. So I am going to replace that with, it is frequently, because the synonym for often is frequently. So instead of saying it is often, I will write it is frequently. That is the first word that I'm going to change. And then the next word is considered. It is often considered. I am going to replace the word considered with the word argued. So that is the second word that I'm going to replace. Considered is a synonym for argued. It is frequently argued. That, I will keep that. And the next word that I want to change is change. It is often considered that, it is frequently argued that change is more beneficial. So in this question, the key word is change. So I am not going to change that word, because if I change it, it's going to change the meaning of the whole statement. So I will keep the word change. It is frequently argued that change is more beneficial. I will change the word beneficial and replace it with the word and advantageous. Advantageous. Advantageous means beneficial. It is frequently argued that change is more advantageous. It is often considered that change is more beneficial. So that is the third word that I have changed. And then we continue to people than. That I will retain because people are people. Okay, it is often considered that change is more beneficial to people than. The next word I will change is trying, and I will replace that word with the word attempting, because attempting is a synonym for trying. To avoid it. So I am going to also replace the word avoid with the word circumvent. To circumvent something is to avoid it. So that is the fifth word that I have changed so far. Avoid, I have replaced it with circumvent. To circumvent is to avoid something. It remains the same, and have everything, and have the entirety of things. So I have replaced the word everything with entirety of things. I have replaced the word everything with entirety of things. Entirety of things means everything. Remember, this is a Band 9 essay. So that is why the vocabulary that I'm using in the background statement is a little bit challenging. So entirety of things means everything. And then the next word that I'm going to change is remain. And I'm going to replace the word remain with the word stay, because stay and remain are synonyms of each other. Okay? And then the last word that I'm going to change in that statement is the same. I will replace this with constant. Okay? The same means the same as constant. The same has exactly the same meaning as the word constant. So what I have done in IELTS statement, I have changed a total of 8 words. The first word I changed is frequently, to replace the word often. And then I changed the word considered and replaced it with the word argued. And then the other word that I changed is beneficial. I replaced it with advantageous. And the fourth word was trying, which I replaced with attempting. And next I changed the word avoid, replaced it with the word circumvent. And then I replaced the word everything with entirety of things. And the seventh word that I changed is stay. I replaced IELTS word, which is remain. And then finally, I replaced the word same with constant. But you notice I did not change some words because I want to retain the original meaning. For example, I did not change the word change. Change remains the same. And the word people, I did not replace that either. Okay? So that's how you write the background statement. All you have to do, look at IELTS statement, which is right there with you in the exam room. Paraphrase that statement by writing the statement in your own words and ensure that you retain the original meaning. And that's it. And what you notice is I have just one sentence as my background statement. And that's exactly what you should do. Just one sentence is enough. If IELTS statement is one sentence, then write one sentence. If IELTS statement is two sentences, then write two sentences. Because what you're doing is simply paraphrasing IELTS statement. Now, once you have written the background statement, the next thing you need to write is the thesis statement. And what should you write in your thesis statement? What is the examiner marking in the thesis statement? In the thesis statement, you need to state your personal opinion as to whether the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Because remember, the question that IELTS is asking you is, do you think the advantages of change outweigh the disadvantages? So the first thing that you have to do is state your personal opinion. Remember what I said earlier on. Although it is a advantage essay, it really is an opinion essay. What IELTS wants to know is your opinion. And that's why they ask you the last question, do you think the advantages? Do you think? Do you think? Meaning, I want to know your opinion. What do you think? So it is an opinion essay. So in the thesis statement, clarify by writing your personal opinion as to whether the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. So answer IELTS question directly. And then once you have done that, you need to explain why, very briefly. So in other words, your thesis statement is really the answer to the question. Okay? So this is how you write it. You begin the thesis statement with the words "in my opinion," or you can use "in my view." Okay? In my opinion, comma. So remember to always begin your thesis statement with that linking word, "in my opinion" or "in my view." And then don't forget the comma after that. And then after that, you simply need to state what your opinion is by copying the last part of the question, which is the advantages of change. So in my opinion, comma, the advantages of change definitely do outweigh the disadvantages. So I have answered IELTS question directly there. The advantages of change definitely, I have used the word definitely to emphasize that this is my opinion and I'm very strongly convinced about it. Okay, so in my opinion, the advantages of change definitely do outweigh the disadvantages. So that is my personal opinion. So remember, you can copy this phrase, definitely do. Okay, definitely do, because there is a great chance that you might get an advantage, disadvantage, outweigh type of question. So you can copy this. In my opinion, the advantages of change definitely do outweigh the disadvantages. Or maybe in your opinion, the disadvantages of change definitely do outweigh the advantages. Maybe for you, the meaning is the opposite. Okay? And then once you have written that, use the word because, use the linking word because, and give your reason. So, in my opinion, the advantages of change definitely do outweigh the disadvantages because remaining stagnant in life would deter progress and growth. Remaining stagnant in life would deter progress and growth. Remember, I said this is a band 9 essay, so we have to begin with very strong vocabulary. Remaining stagnant in life. Remaining stagnant in life means that you do not change, you remain the same. Remaining stagnant means remaining the same in life. would deter. The word deter means stop. It is just a big word that simply means stop. So remaining stagnant, so remaining the same in life, would stop progress. Progress means development. Okay? So remaining stagnant in life would deter. Deter means stop. It would stop progress and growth. So that is the reason why overall I am convinced that the advantages of change definitely do outweigh the disadvantages. Because if you choose to remain stagnant in life, then that will stop you from progressing and growing and developing in life. Okay? So when it comes to the reason, try and provide a general reason, ultimately why you strongly believe that the advantages of change outweigh the disadvantages. Okay? So that's how you write your thesis statement. Always remember, number one, as I've indicated with an arrow there, begin with that linking word, in my opinion, or you could replace it with, in my view. Number two, state your personal opinion as to whether the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Or maybe for you it's vice versa, okay? Meaning that in your case, the disadvantages outweigh the disadvantages. And then number three, remember to use the linking word because. And then after that, give the reason why you have the opinion that you have indicated, that the advantages of change definitely outweigh the disadvantages. So there are 3 points to remember when it comes to writing your thesis statement: the linking word, your opinion, another linking word, and your reason. Okay? So that's how you write your thesis statement and your background statement. Now, you notice that the thesis statement is also just one sentence. So I have 2 sentences in my introduction. I have only 2 sentences in my introduction. Remember, your introduction should be between 25 to 50 words, depending on how long IELTS statement is. Okay? So I have just 2 sentences, one for my background statement and the second one is for my thesis statement. All you have to remember is the structure, how to write it. Remember, with the background statement, you're simply paraphrasing IELTS statement. And when it comes to the thesis statement, you are stating your personal opinion and why. And you have the structure of how to do that. Follow the 4 points. 1, in my opinion. 2, state your opinion. 3, write the linking word because. And 4, give your overall reason. Now, if you found this lesson helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I promise you will not regret. And share this video on all your social media platforms. That's all I ask you to do. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share this video on your social media platforms. Now, in the next lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write the main body and the conclusion of this advantage, disadvantage, outweigh essay. Okay? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know whether you liked the lesson, whether you found the lesson helpful at all. I always appreciate and enjoy reading your feedback in the comment section. Now, thank you very much and see you in our next lesson. Bye-bye.